Hello, guys. Welcome back. And today's topic is, or thing, title, we live more in our head rather than reality. What I mean by this is living in your head is being in the past or the future. Being in the present is where reality is being at the now. It's being at the now. That's what reality is. I wanted to bring this up because I think that's something I think I need to learn as well. Because, once again, I use me documenting these videos as a form of self growth and as advice. So maybe if I need to learn something, I can come back to one of my videos and be like, oh, okay, this is what I said, and I need to follow this. This will help me lead, achieve growth. Anyways, the first thing I want to say is I believe that living in our head is not an authentic way of living. I believe this because if you're constantly in your head, you're not allowing, authentic, real things, genuine things to happen in your life, which, if you're not allowing something to happen that isn't genuine, that's not authenticity. That's, you know, it's something else besides not being authentic. And I think I wanted to bring it up because I know many other people around the world may struggle with this, or living in our head is a difficult, I mean, it's normalized, it's I'll get more into it. And first thing, overthinking, stress, anxiety is an example of being in your head than reality. Your head pictures things to be a bigger deal than what it actually is. It's a form of protection to keep you from the unknown, which is preventing growth and fulfillment. So, when you're in the, for example, if you're in the past or the future, you're in your head. When you think, oh, I've got to do this project, it's due in a couple, months, not months, weeks or days, it causes stress and anxiety. That's living in your head. In reality, when you actually do it, and it's not as hard as it seems, and that's with a lot of things. When you actually let life play out, it's not as big of a deal as it looks like, and it only does that because it's procrastination. I think it's also like many other things and how we different people grow up. I think social media is a big part of it as well. The attention span is decreased, and a bunch of other things because once again, things are a lot smaller than what they seem to be because your brain is trying to form this idea that, oh, this is a lot. When you actually do it, it's not that much. What we tell ourselves can shape our perspective and identity. The way we talk to ourselves can shape the way we see things and the way, our identity is formed. The way that we label ourselves is constructed by the way we speak. So if you speak to your self in a way where it's negative, you're gonna see yourself in a negative way. It's like the one video I talked about was about um, you some about perception and shape your reality, and the way you talk to yourself can also give yourself an identity. If I believe that I'm a hardworking athlete, I will identify myself as a hardworking athlete. And perspective versus reality is a subtopic I want to talk about because I think that's important. Beliefs distort what we see. Beliefs are the foundation of a principle that one may follow, which changes the way one sees. Beliefs is, kind of honestly everything in life. So if you believe something, you're gonna follow that because that becomes a, constructed, a concrete principle to follow because it's something that you believe in. It's something that you're gonna follow because it gives you meaning. It gives you something to chase afterwards, and you believe it because you have faith in it. You have it. It gives you something of value. That's why you believe in something, and it can distort the way you see, especially beliefs for like if someone tells you you can't do it and you believe in that, it's going to distort the way you see. It's going to distort the way that you think you can achieve things. It makes you think, hey, I can't do this because someone else said I couldn't do it. So therefore, I'm going to conform to their expectations or their ideas of me and not allow myself to hit my full potential, which, everyone is completely capable of having their potential reached. It's just a matter of, whether or not if you genuinely believe that you think you can achieve it. And if you can achieve it, you got to believe it. You got to believe in it first. And everything in life, there's steps to it. And everything within life has its own process, and if you follow it authentically, it will usually work out. You just got to believe in it. Emotions and mood changes based on the lenses we look through. And for example, looking through red lenses, red flags are just flags. I really like that one because I saw it somewhere on the internet. It was about, like, for example, if you look through, red, like what I just said, red lenses, everything like that may be bad, it just seems normal. Like red flags are just flags. And your mood can shape how you see things. If you're angry, you're going to see things as like a threat to your like emotions, to yourself, because you will get angry, you'll lash out at people. And if you're sad, you'll see things as sad, it distorts the way you see because your perspective is, constructed on that whatever the mood is, whatever you're being swayed by. And I think it's important to try to, I guess, master your emotions in a way, not where you become inhumane, but still have that, uniqueness and characteristics about a human being that which we have. And obviously moods are an important thing in life. Allow yourself to feel and convey what you feel, but don't let them, overstay. Let them come by, let them, come through. Let yourself feel them, but don't let them overstay to the point where it controls your life and how you see things. Because if they overstay, there's a problem. And you've got to basically, yeah, you can't stay here, you got to go on somewhere. I don't know, rinse too hard or something. I don't know. Living in our head indirectly puts limits and constraints on ourselves, not allowing oneself to achieve full potential. Living in your head can put constraints and limits on yourself because if you think, like with a belief thing, if you believe if someone says to you you can't achieve it, and you genuinely believe that and you follow that principle, you're putting constraints and limits on yourself that was given by someone else living their own life. To live your own life authentically, you've got to have firsthand, I guess, experiences and beliefs rather than being, I guess, consuming other things. Obviously, the way you learn is consuming predetermined and preconceived, you know, um, experiences and topics and ideologies. But when it comes to yourself, and especially if the things that you're consuming are negative, try to kick those out of the way. You don't need negative things in your life. And I think life is all about positivity and being happy. And once again, you know, believing a certain ideology that's negative can put limits on yourself. And you don't want that. You don't want limits on yourself because I think as humans, we should try to reach our full potential in everything, especially if you have a certain path. Like, for example, I'm a runner. I want to reach a certain goal. I want to hit my full potential, before I cease to exist. Why? Because that gives me meaning, gives me purpose, and it's something that I feel happy that, hey, if I can achieve this goal, it gives me dopamine. It gives me something to chase afterwards. And I hope you guys can find something that you can chase afterwards, obviously. Life can be difficult in finding your journey or finding your path because there's so many paths to take. Like, regret might play a role and you might take a path you regret taking that role and you wish you did something else. But that's what life is all about, regret and learning. Living in our head rather than reality can change your self-concept of yourself. How we talk to ourselves can shape our self-perspective. Perception. It's the same thing I was talking earlier. The way that you talk to yourself can limit yourself. It can change your perspective. It can change how you see yourself. And obviously, when you indulge in negative, self-talk, you're gonna keep doing it because you normalize it over time. Things that you do constantly, repetitively, it becomes normalized in your life, so you don't kind of question it. And I believe that if you feel like you're dealing with like self-negative talk, I know it sounds stupid, but try to change that perspective of, hey, I'm a human with my own uniqueness, my own story, my own universe, my own treasures. And try to see yourself as someone that has values, someone that has, uniqueness about themselves. Try to change to a more optimistic, positive view. And, you know, step by step, you'll slowly learn that, hating yourself and negative self talk is not needed. It's just positivity, what's needed. Love, compassion for yourself, self love. And I have a few videos from before if you kind of need help with that. I have some about like self love and other things. You should definitely watch them. They're really good. I have good advice, I believe. But yeah, the mental version of you is different from the physical version, or like I guess, physical body is different from the mental concept that you have of yourself. Since we wake up with ourselves every day, the mental version of ourselves is just, we're always in our head. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in my head a lot, and that's why I'm making this video because I think I need to self-reflect a bit. The mental version of yourself is completely different from the physical version. People see the physical version of you. They can also see the mental side of you if you know allow them, especially if you trust someone. Open up to people that you trust. Vulnerabilities, I think, is a key important thing, or just just something to follow by. Vulnerability can lead to growth in people, and don't be too vulnerable to where you just go up to a random stranger. Oh, I'm like dealing with depression. Don't do that. Have respectful boundaries, but I think vulnerability is key. Anyways, and the physical version is just you. It's the person that you like. For example, if you work out, you're working out your physical version. Mental version is completely different because you have constructed like concepts of yourself because you're always thinking. We're always thinking. We process things so fast, and it's weird. It's so cool to think about. And we adopt labels to ourselves, which is usually from the past and can define the present moment. What I'm trying to say is you identify yourself with labels. So for if I have something in my past that says, okay, in the past I was very like lethargic and lazy. If I label myself as a lazy person and a lethargic person, that's gonna define the present moment, and I'm still gonna be that person. And I also think that you should try to label yourself in a positive way where it kind of constructs the present moment in a way where it's beneficial to you, where it leads to you achieving the things that you want. And and that's also key with like, on forth and, time keep moving forward, like the future. Label yourself in a good way where you feel content with yourself. And once again, being in the past and the future is not good. Just try to be in the present. Obviously, it's being in the past and future is normalized because everyone deals with anxiety. But one change can lead to a lot of changes. So it's just keep trying, and you will get results. Clinging to certain narratives can limit us from achieving what we want and how we perceive. Clinging to certain narratives, like clinging to like a belief, like earlier, can limit yourself from achieving the things that you want and how you perceive things, because if you cling to certain things, that becomes a belief, and belief changes how you see things, because it's like the glasses you put, like you label, like I have glasses of shame or something. I put shame glasses that have shame on them, a label of shame. I'm gonna see myself as a shameful person. I'm gonna see shame. It's gonna outweigh itself more in life, and that's okay. But just remember, try to adapt something that's more positive, especially labels that lead to growth. Being in the present or the reality allows to have true mindfulness, enter a flow state, and the embodiment of truly living. And being in the present or the reality, once again, it allows you to enjoy and embrace whatever is in the now. That's mindfulness. You're mindful of the things around you, your surroundings. You enter a flow state. You feel calm. You feel delighted with things. You feel content with the now because you're not clinging to things that are in the past or in the future, because your mind is not currently there. You're not preoccupied with those two current states. You're in one state, which is in the present moment. And embodiment and true living, which embodiment is mental to physical living. You're not mentally living anymore. You're not like imagining, hey, I want to go travel. You're physically doing it. You're taking action, and action leads to change. You're physically taking the action to do something, especially when it comes. You're not. Oh my gosh, dude. You're not. Sorry. You're not mentally imagining things. You're physically taking action, which once again leads to change and growth in a person. So if you feel like you procrastinate a lot, you just got to force yourself to do it. You just got to do it. And that's something I struggle with, because probably after this video, I'm going to go work out. And I do procrastinate a lot. But I'm going to tell myself, hey, change doesn't happen mentally, it happens physically. Reality is where life actually happens. Living in your head makes real connections, experiences, and opportunities feel missed, which can lead to regret. It can lead to, hey, I wish I would have done something. I wish I would have actually taken action. Jeez, these things are everywhere. And it feels missed because you're in your head. You're imagining it. You're not actually experiencing it. It feels missed because you miss the opportunity to physically take action. And that's not fun. Obviously in life you're going to have opportunities and experiences where you're going to miss them because it's like FOMO. But that's okay. It's all right to miss things. Sometimes it's for the betterment of oneself. And if you feel regretful, just let it go, move on. There's more experiences to come. And if you allow a moment from the past to determine the present right now, you're going to keep missing opportunities. And it's just going to keep happening like a cycle. Thoughts aren't facts. And living in reality or assumptions, they collapse. Most assumptions collapse when they're tested. And thoughts aren't facts. Once again, that's like what connects with overthinking. They aren't usually facts. Once you actually test them or go up to, or just test them in a way where it is genuine, they collapse. They usually collapse because it's constructed in your head and is a form of a protection. And, it's good to have that mindset of trying to test things and see, hey, is this actually what it is? Usually it's not. Reality gives you feedback, not lashback. It's not going to lash back at you. It's going to give you feedback. It's going to, it may be good or bad. It just depends on whatever the circumstance is. Action breaks overthinking. Taking action rather than, imagining it happen or overthinking about it breaks overthinking. And especially if you think you still, struggle with overthinking, which I do, action breaks it. It breaks that habit of it. And that's something I've been trying lately is just taking action, don't overthink about it. Like I was at a cliff jumping place one day. I was overthinking, am I gonna die? No, I took action. I jumped, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, my nose hurt a bit because the water just right up my nose, but yeah, reality shows what works and what doesn't. It's just like it's either works or it doesn't. It's right or wrong. It's good or bad. Reality shows that and it reveals it to you rather than you thinking, is this bad or good? Is this what's right or is this what's not right? Reality shows it to you. Whether or not if the result is not what you want, you got feedback, and feedback gives clarity, and clarity gives happiness and content to one's life because you're not overthinking about it. Growth requires an interaction. You can't evolve or grow in isolation. Growth requires action. You can't just expect to grow in isolation because it's like look at a plant, for example. You gotta water it, you gotta tend to it, you gotta give it sunlight. You have to take action to let it grow. If you don't take action, it's gonna die. And once again, I think you can learn a lot from nature. So if you ever think you need a lot, just observe nature, watch videos, I guess, I don't know. Just do things that you think, hey, am I going to learn something from this that I think is going to benefit me? Go learn it. Take action. Relationships exist in reality, not in imagination. I want to touch base on relationships a bit because I think that's important. And yes, it's true. Relationships exist in reality, not in imagination. You don't imagine a relationship happening. If you want a relationship to happen, someone take action. Don't be like, I'm scared of this happening. Well, take action. You won't know. The worst someone can say is no. And at the end of the day, it's an answer. It gives you clarity. You can move on from it. Obviously, it can be hard, but that's okay. Assuming what others think is mostly wrong. Just your brain creates potential threats. It kind of connects with overthinking, especially with people that overthink in relationships. Assuming what others think or what they are doing can create, threat. It's threatening and it makes you have anxiety. And that can lead to a bunch of different problems, especially like in relationships between a person and another person. Usually, if you're in that state, you've got to go up to them and be vulnerable. Vulnerability is hard, I feel like, for a lot of people nowadays because we're so used to acting tough and being, oh, I got it, I'll be all right. But I think vulnerability is key and what leads to growth. I think life is all about being vulnerable. It's about being, hey, I think I need help. It's okay to ask for help sometimes. It's okay to receive help. It's not going to make you less of a man or a woman. It makes you more human, and being human is what being a person is. It's what being human is all about. It's being human. We're imperfect. Avoidance is thinking replacing communication. Avoiding something is you're thinking about it rather than replacing it with communication. If you avoid something or avoid someone, you're more thinking about it rather than communicating them directly. If you avoid them, you're not allowing communication to play its role, which is just going to lead to further harm in a relationship or a hobby or a thing, and it's going to feel draining. And usually people think, hey, if I just keep avoiding it, it'll eventually go away. No, it won't. It won't. It really won't. So I just believe communicate to the people that you love, the things, the hobbies, self-reflect, communicate to yourself. and try to fix and resolve the things. If they don't work out, that's okay. Some things in life don't work out, and it's for the betterment, and it will reveal things that you think that life thinks is beneficial to you. Because I promise you have life is is really helpful. The present of being there in reality builds trust. Being in the present moment builds trust with someone because if you're with someone, especially trying to build a relationship with someone, being with them in the present rather than being preoccupied in the past or the future, it builds trust because you're there. You're actively on the foundation of trying to build something that's, lovely. It's trust, it's love, it's compassion because trust requires time, it requires effort, it requires being present. And in order to be present, you have to let your mind be mindful. You can't be preoccupied. You got to be give them your 100% attention because they deserve it. I think all people deserve 100% attention, not being, oh yeah, being on your phone while talking to someone. That's not respectful. Be present. I think that can lead to a lot of growth. Once again, you can't change your life without engaging within it. Real changes happen through real action, not through mental planning or a way of living. Once again, you can't change if you don't take action. And living in your head is not action. That's mental thinking, and that's not allowing you to perceive in a different way, and that can lead to your self-perception, being distorted and seeing things that aren't actually what they seem to be. A positive could see as a negative if your lens are distorted enough. So you want to try to get your perspective right about yourself and about reality. Thinking becomes a substitute for doing. Procrastination. That's exactly what it's saying. Thinking about something rather than actually doing it is procrastination. And I feel like I didn't really struggle with it, especially in school, because I was a really I'm going in my senior year. Junior year was really easy for me. I would say that I did not procrastinate that much. I actually just did the work and I was really disciplined. Lately, I've not been disciplined because I haven't been able to run. And running builds discipline for me. Living in your head can cause fear of failure, which makes people want to stay in their head. But failure and trying again and again over leads to results and growth. So, next time you're gonna try something, you fear of failing or fear of, hey, is this not gonna work out? You gotta try. You won't know until you try, and that's living in your head. And I think that's an important. That's why I want to talk about today is because if you want real growth, if you want to achieve the things that you idolize, you have to take action. You have to stop living in your head. And obviously that's hard, but once you get used to it, little small steps, maybe like first start off with try maybe a new hobby that's lightly easy, like maybe art, reading. Instead of thinking about actually do it, force yourself to do it. Over time, you usually will like it because it's something that you actually enjoy. Because if you're used to procrastinating, especially if you're in that state or that mindset of procrastinating, everything that is genuine is going to seem fake. It's going to not seem fulfillment. But in order to find fulfillment, you have to find new hobbies and things. So that's what I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thought it was a good topic. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, pretty long video. So thank you for your time. I hope you learned something. Just remember that live in reality, not your head. If you want to achieve something, you just gotta take action. And fear of failure leads to growth. And when it comes to relationships, communication is key. Don't idolize or imagine things happening in your head. Make it happen. Obviously, which is whatever is morally right. Don't do something that's not right. Anyways, have a good day. Thank you guys, and I love you. Bye bye.